just hit up Twin Falls, which is the first major mile marker outside of or on your way to Hana Highway. So that was kind of the first one. We're going to skip one of the nature trails, which is the second event on Hana Highway that everyone talks about. We're going to go to the third one, which is the Garden of Eden. Biblical. I always thought that was somewhere in the Middle East, but it was in Hawaii. So
I'm holding.
It changed your perspective on Genesis, but
a coconut right now. Little drink for the road. Pretty fun. Not a huge fan on the taste, but it's experience, you know?
yeah, it's a little chalky.
Yeah, it's an interesting flavor. It's kind of very watery.
Yeah.
But this guy was just hacking them with kind of a sword, and I had to try one.
Yeah, it was like a machete, but really thin. Like it almost looked like aluminum foil. You could bend it.
That was awesome. And the vines look like the Tarzan movie everywhere. And this road we're on is insanely windy. I'm getting a little car sick.
But she's a trooper. Aren't you?
Yeah. So we'll see.
Man, we're excited. Okay, Garden of Eden next. Okay, so we are leaving the Garden of Eden. We just stopped by this cool taco shop that was by the exit and got some good advice on the road to Hana. We are going to skip the Black Sand Beach, which is sad because that's kind of the place that Jess really wanted to go. But we're substituting it for a closer spot that also has
black sand.
Black sand. So it is
swim there.
It's a black sand beach.
Well, and the Black Sand Beach, they said
Just
you
not
can't swim there because of the jellyfish.
Yeah.
So this mini one you can, and
Yeah.
we love swimming, so
we're gonna do that instead.
compromise.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. We are at mile marker. We're approaching 11 now. So the Garden of Eden is in between 10 and 11, right at 10 and a half. And man, these views are incredible. Basically, this road just takes you around all these bays, and man, there's just so much. I've never seen so many trees.
And it's so green.
I feel like I'm in the Amazon. Yeah. I've never been to the Amazon, but I feel like I'm there.
We'll go one day. Well, see you at stop 14.
All right, mile marker 14. Let's go.
The Black Sand Beach, a mini version of it, and it was pretty magical. Black sand, and I kept some because I collect sand in these little like test tube vials from every beach we go to.
I believe that's like a $40,000 fine right there, young lady.
Well,
Hawaii government.
No one will find it, hopefully.
Yeah, it was really cool. We were kind of like the only ones there. There wasn't a whole lot of people, and those folks left pretty early once we arrived. It was just so cool. And what's cool is there's levels of sand that you see before the actual ocean hits them. You have the fine sand, and then you have some smaller like pebbles, and then you have actual rocks, and then you approach the water. And when the water falls on the rocks and then it kind of comes out, that undertow, you can hear kind of like a babbling brook with the waves crashing. So it's kind of a cool ambiance there. There was a ton of shade because the sun was actually on the other side of the kind of the bay, the valley that we were in. So it wasn't too bright at all. We got some pretty awesome pictures and just kind of laid out. I was reading a book, and I think Jess was what were you doing? Picking up sand?
Chilling.
Just chilling, kicking it. So, kicking it. So, anyway, we are headed back to Lahaina. We're kind of done with the road to Hana. We're headed back, going the other way now. So, it was a good trip.
It's amazing.
I think if we were to do it again, I think we would wake up a little bit earlier and skip the earlier sceneries now that we've already seen them. So next time we come to Maui, we'll want to get closer to Hana, or at least make it there, and maybe rent like a four-wheeler. That way we don't have to go back this way. We can just go around the island completely on our four-wheel drive vehicle. But yeah, it was really fun. Okay, I definitely recommend this because everyone said to do it, and I was like, okay, well, we'll go. How cool can it be? This was one of the highlights of the trip for sure.
And we had the most amazing warm banana bread I've had in my life. We didn't talk about that, did we?
Yeah, no, it was really good.
It's like homemade Hawaiian banana bread. It's pretty magical.
So like all these places that you go to will typically have a food truck or some native just hanging around.
Coconuts, pineapple.
Coconuts, pineapples.
Fruit smoothie.
Guava. Coconut chips were a fan favorite of mine.
Coconut candy.
Coconut candy. It didn't have that, but man, so much snack food you can get here. It probably won't fill you up. We got tacos and I'm still kind of hungry. But anyway, man, road to Hana, do it and wake up early. Try to go a little bit further. I will say this though, it's only noon and we're heading back. Our car rental service requires us to get back by 4:30. So we obviously have to leave a little bit earlier. But if you get a car and you can keep it until later in the evening when it starts getting dark,
or the next morning,
we would definitely be able to make it to Hana and back because we still have about 7 hours before it gets dark. Now these roads are pretty windy, and if it was nighttime, it would kind of be a bummer to drive. But I think you could still do it. You would just have to drive slow.
Well, and a guy at the hotel said that a lot of people will stay the night in Hana, and then the next day just go back on this road.
Yeah, so I mean, you definitely have a ton of options depending on what you want to see, how much you want to see. Jess and I, we don't really mind skipping stuff. We're really good about just kind of getting an idea for things. There are certain places that we definitely wanted to see in person, but we skipped some of the nature hikes because we just felt like that wouldn't really be worth it. But anyway.